Please listen to these teachings with a pure motivation of bodhicitta for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Tene da tiri ngadu chaki shea ti ane da jeren siki da lent chaki yore.
So this morning we are continuing the explanation of the Heart Sutra, and now we are going to discuss the Avalokiteshvara's reply to Shariputra's question.
Tene da len dinang len len tes yore ba dina kanda jang len tes yobe nang ne da len zo se wora len zo sena mindu kanda jang sheram hingbo nege kapso ta point yore ba singo yake tsik de ta tsik shi yore.
Okay. So the answer is quite extensive, but there are four sentences that are the main point of this answer.
대양 수 동바오 동반니 좀 수소 수리 동반니 셴마이 동반니를 요 수셴마이 노스.
And these four sentences are: form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than empty. And this you can find in English, I think it's page 2, in the last 2 lines, and Slovenian, I don't know. Yeah.
다데기 식시데 간다스네 트레버레 라베나.
So what is the meaning of this four? How did he say these four sentences? What's the meaning of these 4 sentences? Almost he says.
대양 되네. 다다 니기 치 강데라 퐁봉하고 대다장 랑신지 동바 양다바 지스타오 시스도와 단데라 텐레보.
Okay, so kind of what is the origin of these 4 sentences? So they come based on the previous sentence, which says the 5 aggregates should be correctly viewed as empty by nature. So after saying this, then Avalokiteshvara says the next 4 sentences.
다 네개 값소 퐁봉하고 랑신지 동바 양다바 지스타오 라이 송도와 다 퐁봉가텔라 랑신지 아니 동반이 따고레스.
So first instruction by Avalokiteshvara is that one should correctly view the 5 aggregates as empty by nature.
다 디젤라 간다 퐁봉가텔라 간다스네 랑신지 동반이 따고레 라비온데 값소 되네 다 퐁봉가 있노니 조기 퐁볼라 자르니 되네 소 동반이 소레 동반이 제마이 동반이레 저 소시마이 세지도 어딜레버 간데스네 동이 따고레서 디왈레브라.
So first instruction is one should correctly view the 5 aggregates as empty by nature, but then how should one do that? Then Avalokiteshvara explains this based on the first of the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are like the 5 constituents of our being, of who we are, and the first one is the aggregate of form. So then he explains how should we view them as empty by nature, and then based on the example of the first of the 5, on the aggregate of form, then he explains form is empty, emptiness is formed, and so forth.
다텔라 단 담보 퐁봉하고 돼 돈이 다 따고래랑 대 맞다 보면라 아니 강사양 되네 랑신지 동반이 따고래 스티케제 대양 가르스나 퐁봉하고 되다 짱세지도 짱다 디가 어디레스. 네.
야, 인지는
민데.
So, there is one important point here. because we do not start by looking, by viewing the five aggregates as empty by nature. The Tibetan word, it says, there is a word jiang, which means also, which I said in English, it is not there. So actually the correct translation would be, the five aggregates should also be correctly viewed as empty by nature. And why is this word also there? Is because first we have to look at ourselves, at the person, at the self, and see that as being empty by nature, and then also at the five aggregates. I don't know in Slovenia if we have the also or not, probably not.
다 나스 다 나스 가와두스 다 상노탄 거라. 네.
So first we have to kind of to look at this perception of self, of I that we have, and kind of to look where is it.
당가서 나랑서 직 가서 그래. 그 감다고 오잖아. 가서 나한테 가와 도스지 때 챈났다. 서로. 네. 사시 되고다.
Yeah, so it's kind of the best way to do this is kind of to meditate and to kind of try to search for the self. Where is this? Where is this my perception of self?
당가서 정말 냠된다.
So now we can do this. We can try to do this together. So we ask ourselves, where is this I, me? Where is it? Again, we ask ourselves, where is the I? Where is the I? Is it outside my own body? Is it outside my body? Is the I outside my own body?
li ting doka.
Is it kind of in my body or on my body?
Ma rani ki li nona doka.
Is the I inside my body?
Ma rani ki li ki tu me kandam doka. Rangi li ki tu me pa kawan doka.
So is the I in the upper part of my body or in the lower part of my body?
Ma rangi li ki tu la doka.
Is it in the upper part of my body?
Kasi ma rangi li ki tu la yana. Tu li ki tu kandam doka.
If the I is in the upper part of my body, then which part of the upper part of my body? Where is it?
Gola dokan.
Is it in the head? In the head?
Goi jabla doka.
Is it in the back of my head?
Dila doka.
Or in the front?
Rangi lepa la doka.
Is it in my brain?
Lepa la doka.
Is it in my brain?
Yana migda nana kai chus doka.
Or is it in my eyes, in my nose? Where is it?
Rinpoche Cholando.
Is it somewhere in my throat?
Ingi Cholando.
Is it at my heart?
Yana Cholando.
Is it in my stomach?
Kase Supe la Mena Legi Megi Cholando.
If we cannot find it in the upper part of our body, is it located in the lower part of our body?
La Epe Bimogi Jelando.
Is it in our right thigh?
La Yumbi Cholando.
Or is it in my left thigh?
Yana Kangba Yela Toga.
Is it in our right foot?
Kangbi Yuanando.
Is it in our left foot?
Kang Tilandogan.
Is it on the sole of my foot.
강들 이해란도 강 유연한도
Is it on the sole, on the left or the right sole of my foot?
나 강들기 이해란도 강 유연한도
Is it in my left sole or the right sole?
강들기 이해란도 강 유연한도
Is it in my right sole or my left sole?
강들기 이해란도 강 유연한도
Is it in the left, in the right sole, in the left sole of my foot?
미바 강하여 마대바 도매지망라 도스
Without focusing on anything, just rest in a non-conceptual state for a little while.
도매지망라 슈퍼시
Rest in a non-conceptual state, free of any thoughts.
남도 강도 쳐나 쳐주쇼
And number condition.
남도 강나 쳐나 쳐주쇼
And now, any thought that arises, we let it arise.
남도 강도 쳐나 쳐주쇼
Whatever thought arises, we allow it to arise.
진도 소속의 셈데 상당 당당 간리யான 대낭신 당 주시
We allow our mind to think in any way that we usually think.
봉봉하보 대다짱 상신지 동바양다와 제스다오스
And also the 5 aggregates, we correctly view them as empty by nature.
올라서 대장 저거지
Okay.
다 수, 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 동바오스, 송르바.
And then it says, form is empty.
수대 강기 동바를 라베이나.
So, what is the form empty of?
제남백에 내나 여백에 축제도와 축제대 강기 동바를 라베이나. 축제대 강기 동바를. 강기 동바를.
So, correct.
축제지도와
Ah, yeah, just
축제도와
a
강기 동바를. 똥스나 가리 말했다.
Yeah, empty of what?
Yeah,
Yes. And so, for example, the table in front of you, what is it empty of?
강기 동바를 세운다 갑시다. 다 나눠서 이런게 축제시도와 축제대 너대 말보인 바치. 강바 이유 바치.
So, the table in front of us, its color is red and it has 2 legs.
이 뒤진바.
It is rectangular in form.
사텔라 나기다 대 샤사비 쭉대 차기여라.
And this becomes a table on which we can put our texts.
다대답이 되네. 다 쭉대 깜바 야지 매버서나. 깜바지 매버서시나.
So if we take away one of the legs of the table,
쭉대 때 차기여라.
one part will fall down. It will become this.
네 갑시다. 쭉대 때 폴란드 좀 말해.
So it is a little bit broken, right? If it doesn't have one leg.
폴란드의 쭉대라.
It's kind of, it's a faulty table.
볼팅 테이블로. 폴란드 와서
Broken
볼팅 테이블.
Yeah, it becomes a broken table.
볼팅 테이블로. 다 공부 해봤대요. 나보서나.
So if we take away also the other leg,
다 강기 렐레데 하기로 봐.
just the upper part remains, right?
다디마 살아 마차도라.
And
다
this,
살 통이다. 다마 살 통도라.
before it was kind of raised from the floor. Now if the table doesn't have legs, the upper part will be just sitting on the floor.
다디 초라 쇼이게 쭉세레당 그러봐. 쭉세게 까버서라. 데레스.
So then what is it now? Is it a broken table or is it the upper part of the table?
당한도는 딱딱지 데레스가 도움이다.
So he cannot say which one it is, one or the other.
나다 망자 초라 쇼이 쭉세레당 양 쭉세게 갑자기 까버서. 나한테 가래 있는 거.
So, among all of you, what would you think? Is this just the upper part of the table or is it a broken table? It doesn't have legs.
You got three.
Huh?
I saw you three.
Trade of justice.
얘다.
Upper part.
Upper part.
그래.
It's all of it and none of it.
콩게 가리송래.
Tray.
제 차례로. 제
So one person says it becomes a tray.
콩게 쭉되게 가져올라라.
Yeah. Another person says it is the upper part of the table.
네. 쭉되 가져올라라. 찌기 가양 말해라라.
Some person says it is none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 뜻을 지금 나는 지금 매번 참아요.
아니 어디. 그래. 다들 상마 달렌 빼야 그래.
He says all the answers are good.
그래서 오늘 말해서 라고 주나. 그래서 레레라라. 저랑 라주데 말해서 라고 니라 도움.
And he says he cannot tell to any of you that you're not right. That's not how it is.
공기 손제대 말라도 공 손제대 말라도.
He cannot say to any of you you're not right. What you said is wrong.
간다장 타마다 같이 하버려. 쭉대 많이 같이 하버다. 또 데르다.
At the end, what is the result? That we cannot find the table. There is no table.
그래. 너도 데르다. 같이 하버다. 하나서 쭉대 많이 봐. 차려.
Now it became something that is not a table anymore.
다들 당연서 다게 강기 똥바래 세지도 다들 다들 연재 주어지는 거는 강기 똥바래.
So now if we ask again the previous question, what is it empty of? What is the table empty of?
다들 ngaran 속에 음악 값으로 봐. 시당이 요래. 강기 똥바래 세지도 찍기 덴바 주바게 똥바래 열라이지 요래. 그래.
And when we talk about the Madhyamika reasoning, there are two ways of explaining this. There are two ways of answering this question. The first way is to say it is empty of true existence.
이마데 쭉지 대 쭉지 똥바래 베스. 네.
And the second one, the table is empty of being a table.
다들어. 인도아니 사마나 인도아.
So two ways of looking at this.
쭉지 덴바 주바게 똥바래. 쭉지 코랑코랑게 똥바래.
So there is two ways of saying. One is that the table is empty of true existence, or the table is empty of itself.
쭉지 참참 쭉지 덴바 주바게 똥을 세지도 덴바 주바게 똥 세지도 덴바 주바게 똥 세텔라 고아 인랭해요. 고아 찍대 쭉지 코랑게 똥바래 세야 되당 쭉지 덴바 주바게 똥 세니 가시게 된다 찍바셔래 된다 찍바. 네.
Okay, now it's becoming complicated. So the first answer, that the table is empty of true existence, there is two ways of understanding this. One way is to say the table is empty. And the other way to understand it is the table is empty of true existence.
다다기 이샤로 이는 찍기 쭉지 덴바 주바게 똥바래 라데 갑소 쭉지데 덴바 주바게 똥바래스 이나야 쭉지 코랑이 똥바 말레스 이 디시고.
Okay, so there is also two ways of looking at that. So the table is empty of true existence, but some say also the table is not empty of itself.
땅이 신기 시주시라 대 제대 제거라 이나 다기 나랑도 창마도 좋아지 중에서 대sem나 샤 대sem나 냐로다.
So he says what is most important, that kind of the experience that we got from thinking of this, that we keep that we remember that we understand that. What he's explaining now, he says, is kind of repeating what he has heard, but what we did through kind of thinking of this, that is the real experience we should remember.
다다기 쭉지 코랑게 똥바 말레스 쭉지 덴바 주바게 똥바래 라데가 디갑스게 덴바 주바 세데 쭉지데 고 취시야나 마데 바라 취시야나 마데 바라 시야나 또 마고 바 쭉지 레 세다고 지어라 데다고 똥바래 예스라고 레
이양 계시선.
쭉지데 답변아 쭉지데 다 광바당 노당 된들라 가야 또 뭐가 봐 쭉지 코랑게 주바래 예스 디게 똥바래 예스라 다 쭉지데 간다자 땜들 말했어요. 취시는 땜바 말했어요. 저라. 취시는 마템바데 똥 말했어. 네.
I just want to make sure I understand. Otherwise, if I don't understand, then you will not understand. So this way of explaining, to say that the table is empty of true existence, but the table is not empty of itself. The table is not empty of being a table. What it means is that the table is empty of true existence. It means that we kind of try to eliminate the belief that the table is kind of independent, is not dependent on other conditions. So we are saying that the table is not interdependent. That is our belief. So we are trying to destroy this kind of belief that the table is not interdependent on anything else.
네. 다들 주제 나서 주제대 취시나 마템바 마레세 열세월다 마레세월 마템바 마임바 다간 템바 이나 보라. 다들 나서 정말 그때 사 그것도 고민도스.
So what we are saying here,
네.
we are saying that the table is not interdependent. So what we are saying is that the table is dependent on other things. So is this clear that the table does not exist by itself? It depends on other conditions, right?
그래서
Yes.
yes. 다게 딱 나랑 소라 직 초어로 중성 다게 그래서 주제를 따제 땅인가 대대 베스트 팀바 중성
So does this match a little bit our experience we got when we were thinking of the table and removing the legs and like this? Does this match the explanation and the experience?
다들 나서 다 그것도 말해 안 돼.
Do you understand or not? Can we understand this?
Yes.
다 그것도랑 저.
We can understand this.
그래서
Possible one question? Just about a translation that I understand correctly. So you said that the table is empty of true existence.
True existence. Yeah.
True existence. But is it meant actually the table is empty of interdependent existence? Because this true is not defined. At least I don't understand it well.
True existence. True
Okay.
existence.
Okay. 다 덴바 트로바다 다기니 고알렌다 인도스 라인바. 그봐. 찍대 쭉제대 쭉제 코 항상 쭉제 내린다. 나 빼나래다. 다 공개 쭉제도 와. 공개 쭉제다 쭉제. 알레데 공개 쭉제래. 내 공개 쭉제래. 내 공개 쭉제래. 다내 까먹자. 내가 그 쭉제. 아tin 대따기도 와. 다가랑이 덴바트바 진짜. 진짜를 생기요. 네.
So true existence is our belief, kind of, that something really exists as we perceive it. So for example, when he looks at different tables, he will say, this is his table, this is his table, this is my table, this is his own table. So the moment we have this perception, this is my table or his table, then we have created solidity, solid existence. So true existence means something like this, when our perception solidifies something.
다치게 덴바트바 세세 직 홉데 간데 다 데다지 공바단 데졸라 직 가서 버다 가도 오늘 주제세 딱 오늘 다 요레세 다 요르다 오늘 요레 직 네버트 주제라 직 셈나 홉데 샤한테 그때 무거워 좋아도 오늘 코데 주제 때 무거워 요레세 데다오지 덴바트.
So this kind of first perception of the table, without examining, we think the table exists by itself without depending on other things. So this is our perception when we're not examining it. So kind of that's how we perceive things. So this is what true existence means. This is our perception of true existence means.
다 다기 가서 토픽이야 다기.
Now back to the topic.
다기 가서 다기 깨져 최지와. 다리 그럴래. 다 가서 다기 주제대 참아 땡기 여번 가서 하고보다. 가서 하고보다. 다들 돈이 레라베나 하고 땡고 이거 돈이나. 다들 가서 정말 하고서 나서 다기 하고서 나더라. 참 하고서 나다기.
So you all said that you understand that the table is empty because it depends on many conditions in order for it to exist, right? So that is the meaning of the table is empty. And you all said you understand that, right?
티 나도 정말 하고보다 티 하고와 빼야 버리네.
So if you can all understand this, it's very good.
오늘에다 빼야 버리다.
That's very good, he says.
남자 가서 진행 라이프 지금 열어봐. 딘다고 초와대 시라렌 도마.
In our daily life, usually we don't have this experience at all.
당연히
We don't understand this. We don't
그래.
perceive this.
오늘 너무 그 라이프라 대 초와대 도마 다디.
In our normal life, this is not part of our experience. We cannot see it in this way.
다기 나 세시도와 가와 유스 대직 다다기 나서 다주스 정말 땡데레도 lapso. 딘이 좀 너무 그 라이프라 레야테 스칼이야. 정신 랭마다디.
And these two things that we examined today, our perception of self and our perception of things like, for example, the table as being interdependent. This usually in our normal life, we do not see things in this way, neither of these two.
근데 그 다다 나서 다기 땡데 때 하고서 다때 빼하고 너무 라이프 때 땅 동미 다다 때땅 토바 담지기 때때 감소나 빼하고 차리.
So it is very important to have some experience of this interdependence, how things are interdependent, and kind of to slowly try to get used to seeing things in this way. It will be very beneficial for us.
야. 다때 엔드니스 된다 데레벨나.
So then, do you ask, is this the meaning of emptiness?
나서 그 돈이다. 뇽아라 메나요. 뇽아라 메나요. 지 롭종지 아 데레다 알려줘라. 때 학고도 겁니다.
So did this bring out a little bit of experience and understanding of emptiness? This way of thinking? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Let's go a little.
발렌도다.
Is
때 돈이 인사래.
this emptiness? Do you think this is emptiness?
emptiness meaning redo.
Do you think this is what emptiness means?
Yes no.
Yes or no?
No. Okay. Why?
This is the point.
Miss something.
Miss Norsunara.
Tarantet.
Ale.
Norma som innan tarantet.
Sunda. Please
What is
tell
this?
me.
The part is not nothing.
그래.
Di tongpase di chigam neba maredrabo. Di nanso go ale matuna yantes nanso gondor tepsigires.
Ale.
Esinan tongpagi tsigje ala.
Ale.
Chigam nebe gidondero yongi ala nanso tsigde god.
네. 다다기 나서 쭉지 데려와. 강바니 콜랩트서 때니 그 쭉지세 때. 레도스 나서 다 땡제 나서 다기 땡제 땡이 라브라도 나서 똥이 땡이 라브라 말해 취지는 디가 가서 직 쭉지 매번다고 초알랩스.
So when we examine the table, right, the interdependence that it depends on the upper part and the legs and everything, did you have the experience and that is interdependence, and this kind of interdependence is showing the table's emptiness, right? So at that time did you get the feeling that the table doesn't exist at all? It's not there at all?
No.
Right.
You are comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some ways.
I have another kind of problem. Rinpoche. I think I understand that the tables is composed by parts, but I think in my mind that there is the idea of table. So I recognize that is a table, the function of table. Also, the table also I can use a cushion as a table, because in my mind I have the idea of a table. So I think that idea is empty or has his own nature.
테이블 기 아이디어에 와서 거기 생기는 거. 테이블 기 아이디어에
아 덴지 돌라라
내가 던지라 그래.
오케이
대한
마인드 테이블 라이트
야야
마인드 테이블
대파 drugaré 대한 동거래서
테라레
던지
알레
던지 이거 알아.
알레 레레
서로 실천보다
레레
던지 실천보다
알레 레레
대한 대파 drugaré 대한 동거래서 던지 칸데도.
다디 메 가레 똥바레
Then the question is empty. Is it empty of what? We're back to the beginning. What is it empty? Even when we were talking about the idea of table,
가레 똥바이나
then we have to ask ourselves: if it is
What?
empty, what is it empty of?
다디 신노는 차데지도 봐. 다 쭉세게 엔트리 받은 가자 똑바이 말아.
Okay, so now we don't have doubt anymore that the table is empty,
Okay.
right?
근데 다디 신노 샤데 쭉지지도 봐.
But the idea of the
Yeah,
table,
yeah. Mind table 나는 저기더라.
Yeah,
Mind
mind
table,
table.
right? Mind table. Is alright, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. 가레 똥바. 가레 똥바.
so what is it empty of?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because in my mind, when I see something that I can put over something, in my mind, comes up the idea of table. It's a sort of tableness.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not, I don't know if the word exists, but
진짜 봐. 네. 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 그래봐. 됐나 봐. 맞아, 내 메토드 인지보다. 메토드 인지보지. 오케이.
For example, we have these flowers, right? And we think these flowers are beautiful, right?
오케이. 나 가지잖아. 네 주제 단디 닌지가 내가 테스 가기다 대신 다 킬레.
So then he says this example is more beautiful, that's why he shows the flower.
내가
Example.
시에서 찍고 있다. 테이블 때
But
찍고.
meaning is the same, like
Yeah, yeah.
talking about the table or about the flowers. It makes
Okay.
no difference.
다 맞아. Mind flower. 오케이. Same right?
Yeah.
Mind
The idea
table,
of flower
right?
and the flower.
Mind. 오케이. Mind flower. Mind flower की 된 얘기를 지금 한다.
So the idea of the flower, can it perform the function of the flower or not?
yes, in my mind.
네 그런 게 된 얘기래.
Of the flower itself, physical flower.
Ah, no.
오케이. 야. Right?
The man.
야.
No.
야. 야. 대인데 갑시다. 되게 마인드 플라워 되게 메토게도 된 지금 말아봐. 이는 디기다. 다 그런 you say right. 된 지기도 없어. 되게 오늘에다.
Yeah, in a way it's also true what you say. It does do the function.
그래.
It can do the function.
당연히 되는 중에 가르치는 가르치에서는 아주 낭박이 생활이가 나라 옌셀 해줘. 옌셀. 가르치는 이제 사는 셀. 옌셀. 신기해. This is very 생활이 걸 갈래.
Pramana is like the science of
Okay.
logic and reasoning.
Sometimes this used
Which is,
Buddhist science.
Oh,
something.
okay.
들린다고 like.
Gensel means the exclusion of the other. Becoming complicated.
아직 다다 하면 강다르시면 생활이 받는 인생 라이시래. 대뱀 무식이 된다고 시행인데 낭만만 더 요말 생활이 받는.
So the Buddhist science of reasoning is really profound. No other philosophical tradition in the world goes so deep in examining the nature of reality and everything. And there is this concept of exclusion of the other, which is part of the reasoning. yeah, I don't know how to explain, but that's how it's translated.
Yeah.
It's called exclusion of the other, so exclusion of something else.
re tiki te na te tiki kare se du sena ma so sendang raba sendang pege yin yingi ndewa kan de yume chik te
So this type of reasoning examines the connection with the connection between the mind and an external object.
nimba semgi yula ta langdor jera pena ma so jugdo jera ba yapo ma so semgi ngarang so ta sem nan de ngarang so mo pena sem malam de ta ngarang so mo ni yula ta yapo langdor jegi yananda dokja langdor jegi yananda kangtar ja kandesin jegi du se passable de so.
And this also very clearly explains the interaction between the mind and the external objects.
Sarva ta de to students amra
So this is just kind of to give an idea.
ta na so tagi dele borada
Now it's again another deviation, so now we have to come back to the main topic.
ta na so ta tagi kare resena ta ke toni mare se ke mo go chung sa toni mare se ke ta tagi ni yore la chi gi engineers la ide chupje ke tong bare yes do tenda re chupje de kare ki entry re la ba na table is entry of table pache ndege je seba
So the first way of looking at it, as we discussed before, we can say the table is empty of being a table, kind of.
tate package mo tate
And this is already very, very important to understand.
te kelen to sare be maji
Can you understand this, or can you accept that this is how it is?
accept
Accept.
okay 오늘 빼야 버려
Very good.
다 대화도
He hopes. There is hope. There is hope.
그래서 니만 반 샤잉거다 니네 만 샤잉거다
So it's like the sun is shining from there, but also from there.
니네 야 샤잉
And from here. Like the sun is shining everywhere.
아직 세무시 되다 다 세무시
Because he's joking.
이나 오늘 뒤빼다약 빼야 버려 오늘
But in general, it is very, very important to be able to understand this.
나한테 단 나랑 오늘 FC 다 나랑 게 SJB나 나랑 제 빼야 버려 챙기도 그래
So
나랑 산다
yeah, thinking about himself, if he can really accept this and understand this, then he thinks that this is very good. He's doing very well.
이나야 대 SJB나 나라 가르 펜토 그랬잖아 나게 대 SJB나 나라 가르 펜토 그랬잖아 다대양 써놓던 거다
So now the next thing to consider is, okay, if we understand this, if we accept this, what's the benefit? How does this benefit me?
걔는 막 가르고 가르스 펜토 대
What do you think?
Less attachment, less avoidance.
신자, that's 충주도야.
알레
그다음에 자방량, that's
충도야
충주도야.
알레
I see.
야보도 오늘 nem바데 오늘 truth
You're right.
how 저 간데스다 간데스 도
So how does this help? How is it connected to
You
less?
do not fight with an illusion, it makes no sense.
간데스
That's how much 동바다 주마다고 저 서로에나 근데 내가 자방 제야다 신자 제야 도담 저걸 차리도
전달 멤버 차기도 제 대용 오늘에 가장이 라인 받아가는데
Yeah.
나선이 찍바데도 계시야 가자
He said the same
Yeah.
yesterday. So that's how it is.
이제 따고 튕겨도
So we all agree on
야
this. We all agree.
다 쭉지 코랑 쭉지게 말해서 똥을 라베나 다들 때는 진짜 도당 간지를 라베나 배는 나서나 네.
So if we look at the table and if we say that the table is empty of being a table, so how does this reduce our attachment? Like our
네.
yeah,
네.
that's the attachment.
네.
Or,
다들 담보 하고 그러잖아. 나랑서 시당 되자 대다고 성어 가래 있나요? 간디스 제기도 대 하고나 되네 빼 하고 있다.
so how can we understand this? First we have to see where do our kind of thoughts or perceptions of attachment and aversion arise from? Where do they come from? So we have to look at that to be able to understand how is it connected with our perception of the table.
네. 빼나다 나랑서 나 메토드라 심차베나.
So if he is attached to these flowers, his mind
네.
gets attached to these flowers.
심차바이나 간디스 차기도 선삼당 바이나. 네.
So if he thinks, how does this happen?
대양지 다 메토군 담만담은 뭐보다 메토군 담만담은
So
뭐.
flower, even every flower has many petals.
알레다 메토 세르페 닝겨버려 샤스다. 그봐 메토 닝겨 같이 코다 걸세 버리다. 오 다코 몽보직 디서다 로마 중중다 전부 다 참아 초네. 참아 코 초반에 되네. 되네 코페 닝겨버 차샤 된지 somno 파지요 맞다.
So probably it doesn't happen like we start looking at the flower and we think, oh, they're beautiful because all of these flowers came together and it created a beautiful appearance. They all have different petals, different colors, and like this. That's not how attachment comes.
네. 선생님 방아 미지라 혼걸 사바이나. 그죠? 알레 미디다 오코 라파니도 콜랑고도 콜라 콤바니도 그죠? 근데 상당히 콘다 사이마다.
And also, if we talk at the opposite of the aversion or anger, we do not get angry at a person by looking at the person and say, oh, this person has 2 arms, 1 head, 2 legs, and then through examining like this, then we get angry.
꽤나 땅아 나 뭔가서 미지 여봤지? 좋아? 뭔가서 미지 여봤지? 코 다다래다 다다. 고 넥체나 낭레서나 난 통하고 안 셈나 가려요.
So if there is a person who he really doesn't like, and then suddenly that person opens that door and comes in, so what will happen in his mind?
다 나셈. 다시다. 용기 말하다 시다. 아야.
That's what he would think.
나타나 그거라. 나타나 그거라 같은 거
He doesn't have to explain.
다 대인데 갑다 오니. 다 대인데 갑소. 대인데 갑다. 다 오니 나서 다 엔트리 스테이지도와. 다 된다 때 두서 something 바이나. 근데 가릭 엔트리도 맞아. 뭐든지 가릭 엔트리도 딱 보여지요, 여러분. 근데 나도 하고 엔트리 세드 가르래도 근데 엔트리 동보 엔트리 세드 가르래도 따라봐. 근데 쭉쭉이 엔트리 딱 보면은 가릭 엔트리 딱 보고. 근데 신 하고 근데 때 하고 그래.
So the way to really understand emptiness is to follow this kind of procedure that we followed before. To first kind of to determine that, for example, the table is empty, but we always have to ask ourselves the question, empty of what? So this question is very important to consider. Not just say it's empty. Empty of what? So this is something we have to examine and think about.
네, 다다딩 나게 이게 가릭이 엔트리도 코엔 동보 가릭 엔트리 대 하고라 팀바데 코디 엔트리도 센 다서는 다디 다 인디다 바이마 다 나라 가리 팽기도 세데 다 다기 텔라든 하고 다기 가서 나게 베스트 프렌드 통바당 들어와 통바당 간데 생각 로제스 들어와 네.
So this kind, if we apply this kind of, if we really understand this kind of reasoning, and we ask ourselves how is it beneficial to us, we will really know how it's beneficial to us when situations like this happens, when his best friend comes through the door and how he feels when that happens.
Yeah.
Then we apply that to this situation, and then we will see how it can benefit us.
네. 다들 entry said entry said chicken dish 잡거나 뭐네 깔에 카보지를 다들.
If we try to explain emptiness through words, it's very, very difficult.
부다기 산제게야 마섬 제미선다.
Even Buddha himself said that emptiness is beyond words, expression, and imagination.
마서데 마섬 제미 셔럽 파르친 라게요.
It says
데라다.
Prajnaparamita, beyond words, thought, and expression.
데인데 그 땅에서 따지 치기 돈은 되시지 다른 가서 중간에 치기 돈 되시 중간에 당문에 소송원에 근데 다 감고다 근데 감하고서나 되는 거네 가서 다 감소나 이러발 감소나 되는 때 하고 해요 되는다 자세 찍 하고 다
So first, here today there was the explanation by using words, and then through meditation. And with words we cannot get really a very strong understanding, but through meditation, through this experience that we get through meditation, we can maybe get like 1% of the full understanding of what emptiness is. Then by gradually continuing to practice like this, by familiarizing ourselves with this experience, then maybe we can slowly progress to 10%, then 20%. So for example, when we know already 20%, so then this kind of knowing this first 1%, remembering that, we will become very happy that we were able to begin understanding. Yeah, so even this 1% will make us more happy. And then when we reach 10%, we will be even more happy. Kind of. It will change our mind, it will change our perception. Yeah, and then when we have 20% of understanding, then our mind will be even more happy. So, for example, if we are really hungry and there is a big pizza in front of ourselves, even if we don't get the whole pizza, if we get 20% of the pizza, then we will be really happy already.
라서 다게 가서 똥바오 세컨드 차스타
So how is it now? The
sighi는
understanding
sig당무데
of this sentence form is empty. This was the explanation.
똥바오 그봐 다 똥바오 슬라 다 똥반 signiba 똥반 니장 숙슬라로
And then the second sentence says emptiness is form.
똥반 니장 숙슬라로 똥반 니장 숙슬라로 다나 다 다기 쭉직 똥송아
So first we came to the conclusion that the table is empty of being a table.
다디 쭉직 다 쭉직 많이 받아 차송하다
But by understanding this, did the table disappear or not?
다디도 노노 다다기 쭉직 똥바 차송아
Yeah, but it became empty of being a table.
차송아 이는 지금 쭉직 말에 송입니다.
But you're not saying the table
Not
is not a
accepted,
table,
right?
right?
Table is empty of table. You are accepted, right? Right? In table is not table. Accept, not as. Upset. Okay. Upset, right? Yeah.
One way is not a table, and another way is still a table. Both I can say.
Both. Okay.
저 지금 대본 많이 받아보 자선 저는 저세 임바로.
네. 뭐라고. 다 똥반 레 다 되는 거면서 다 강다진 되게도. 다 똥반 니장. 그봐. 다 공부생은 다디 임바라고 차서 많이 받아고 차성나라.
He says it is and it isn't kind of.
다때 나서 다다 람가래 요르다.
We are getting there.
네. 야. 다 람갈 레바데 빼. 데 야보라. 오늘 야보라다. 오늘. 그래 나서 타게 랩송나. 되네? 다 죽으라.
Yeah, now we're on the way. So once we get there, we will determine.
람갈 레데 가서니 그 타제잖아. 데스 타제 하다라요.
If he gives a definite explanation while we're still on the way there, then it will be too early. We will not understand. So we're getting there.
네, 아직 고듯이 다 다게 다 저는 상막이 table 때 emptiness of tables killing 거 봐. 다 killing 값소 다 table 다 동반이 주 숙소스 이 같은 이번 내려 봐. 동반이 주 숙소스라 되고 다 가서 다 까마 오무게 페나 where is 까마 오무스 table.
So just as we all came to the understanding of the first word, the form is empty, and what this means is the table is empty of being a table. But now if we ask a question, where is Karma Omu's table?
Right?
Where is Karma Omu's table?
Yeah. Rồi, ready. Yeah. Right. Tang aso kita kari lepsong. Kama omuki table there. Kama omus table is empty of kama omus table raba. This one word, right? One word. Second, where is kama omus table ladikaso? Also here. Okay.
So we can all agree that Karma Omu's table is empty of being Karma Omu's table.
Yeah.
But then when we ask the question, where is Karma Omu's table? We all point here. It's still there.
Tati ladikaso. Ta tomba ni jang suk lagida.
And that's the meaning of saying the emptiness.
Tomba ni ju suk ta dire. Kare sena tangaso 코런지 똥반이 조사 되겠다. 다 나랑서 죽세지 다 테이블 세컨드 로베이나. 다기 까마오모기 다 똥이 랑기 테이블 테니 까마오모 테이블 세고도 되다. 돼. 다 똥이기 그봐. 똥이기 저랑기 쭉든데니 저랑기 쭉데 세고도. emptiness 차송아. 저는 딱간 돈이기 쭉대 차송아. 돈이기 쭉대 차송아. 돈반이 쭉대 차송아. 다 이나야. 다단 저랑 쭉대 가원 세고도스는 이전반 세면도 디네랑 세고고도 온티리다 되고.
So if we examine the table, we will all agree and find that the table is empty. But when we look for the table, we cannot find it anywhere else but here, where it was before already.
디리. 데이데가 땅에서 나랑서 문에다 오볼라 마도 빠시 마소게 난게데 세고 와라. 나와데 데이데가 땅에서 가르라 버스나. 아니 죽땡기 니록당 죽인데 카가요 말에 세고라다. 카가 네바도 lep송. 네.
So what we are doing here is we're kind of examining our perception of true existence, and we're examining how things appear to us. And we are also looking at, for example, the form, let's say the table as an example, And then what is the nature of this table? So we're going a little bit deeper. We're not just looking at the thing, but we're examining the thing in relation to its nature. But in a way, we find out that the thing and its nature, they're not two different things. They're not two separate things. And that's why the next two sentences come. The emptiness is not other than form. And form is also not other than emptiness. So to kind of to represent this, then the next two sentences follows the first two. So we try to illustrate this with an example. So he'll try to explain this through a story. This story was told by Atisha, by the great master Atisha, and the story is about a mother, her son, and the son's wife. And then the son, he was like a merchant, so businessman kind of, so he was traveling a lot, and so he was away from home most of the time. So he said to his wife, my mother is very dear to me, so while I'm away, please take very good care of her. So while he was away doing his business and trading and whatever, then his wife was cooking very good food and offering it to his mother. But no matter how good food the wife made, the mother didn't like it at all. And they were fighting all the time, the mother and the daughter-in-law. What was the reason for that? Is whenever the daughter-in-law offered a meal to the mother-in-law, the mother-in-law saw this food as kind of as dirty. And why did she see it as dirty? She saw it looked like there were lots of hair in the food. But this was not because of the food, but because she had some eye disease. And there is a particular eye disease which makes you see like everything, like some kind of lines everywhere. So you think there is hair everywhere you see. But then also when the son gave her offered her food, she also saw it as full of hair. So then they tried to find out what's going on, and they took her to a doctor, and the doctor explained that it is her disease that is causing her to see hairs. So the son and his wife, when they looked at the food that they were offering, they saw the food as it is. They saw it as a good food and as clean food.
clean food.
They saw it as it is, the way it's. They saw the nature of the food, kind of the way it was, the way it really was. But when she looked at the same food, she saw it as dirty and as something that she could not eat.
쪽바데 뭐랑 통하게 칼라 쪽바 지어라. 대 파지하네. 칼라 짱마지 차고 지나라 그래.
So if we look at things from the mother's perspective, even if this food, the same food that she sees as dirty, if we take it away and try to bring some other food to her that she will see as clean, will we manage to do that or not?
데려와. 칼라 쪽바데 파요네. 간데세. 파요네.
Ragi
라기 말아. 대 가래라디 가서 죽리 똥바지 많이 세지도와. 데.
This is because there is no emptiness other than form.
죽리 로서 죽코랑 다가랑 그 죽기 다 테마도 지기 죽디 파자야 죽디 emptiness in 테디오 말이 소 다가랑 데
So it's like this, the form is how it is, and emptiness is kind of part of it. We cannot search for emptiness anywhere else. We cannot take this away and then find emptiness somewhere else. That's why it says emptiness is not other than form. So this is kind of an example of saying that there is no emptiness other than form.
다 칼라 짱마지도 다 칼라 짱마들라 트라이어라 다 칼라들 트라이어라 다 트라이어라 네.
So now again we look at this nice and clean food, but there is
칼라들 다 트라이어라
뭐래요?
칼라들 트라이어라 다.
So we look at this clean food with hair.
다 아마 되겠네 다 칼라들 트라이어라.
Yeah, when the mother looks, the food, there is hair on the food, right?
네.
Yeah.
다 트라데 짱마 간질 마서 짱마 속으로다.
So how do we remove the hair? Like we should be able to take away the hair, right?
짱마서 다 짱마 줘야 돼. 싸야 돼.
Is it possible?
No right. 데데 짱마 줘야 된다. 다 티기 가르쳐 버스나 똥반 닐레 주주기 많이 스티르다.
So that's why it says also there is no form other than emptiness. That's the fourth line, the fourth sentence.
데르다. 똥박 최담비 똥이래데 이는 나랑 저기 로기라 로기 따스를 때네 다 가레이나 데 레선 따고 다 데.
And this illustrates that everything in nature is empty, but our mind kind of makes everything appear the way it appears. Our mind creates the forms and everything else that we perceive.
대인자 다디 가르쳐 낭비게 따오다. 그래서 랑도르세야 돼 생기통 제보를 해야 돼. 다디게 된 거야.
And that's why they say that everything depends on the mind. Everything is created by the mind.
그래. 되는 말하면서 디 고유랑시 강인바데 양대를 세지도 디.
So that's why we say that in a way the nature of samsara itself is nirvana. There is no nirvana somewhere else, kind of.
디는 다동야 나저 인 마하무드라 찾으시 문으로 특시하나 타고 지어야.
Then in Mahamudra we also have some very scary words, scary sayings.
그래요래. 남도 축그레 세지도.
We say thoughts itself are the dharmakaya. Our thoughts are the dharmakaya.
다디 남도 축그레 세디다.
This is the meaning of saying why we can say our thoughts themselves are the dharmakaya.
대인장다 조 동바바 동반이 졸래 동반이 제마이 동반이 예레 주조 제마이노 세다 말은 조금네 칼라오다 제가 치라 참내가 많이 봐 지금 다 가요 라요 소소는 미첼라 다 이제 뺏게 좀 버려.
So these four sentences: form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, and form is also not other than emptiness. These four sentences, to really try our best to kind of to contemplate on them and to really apply them in our life is extremely important.
언제 다들 이제 그 다음 가서 다게 퐁봉하고 세대가 다 소고 퐁봉들 다들 죽지 퐁봉을 지엔베다 가서 퐁봉아 여러 퐁봉아 되네 감 조제 제시 제인신데 여러분 다도 상마 다 간다 뭐부 탐제 다디 regression dire.
And then kind of the sutra continues to apply this same kind of reasoning to all other parts of our existence. So it starts with the 5 aggregates, which says feeling, conception, formations, and consciousness. So these are the 5 aggregates, and then it continues. And then it goes with all aspects of our existence, all aspects of our perception, which are called as the 18 kamchogye. Who knows? 18 dhatus is the Sanskrit word, but what would be the English? And 12 chimche. I know the Tibetan word, I know the Sanskrit word, but I don't know the English words. But it's kind of it's part of our experience. That's why. And these are like ear, eye, ear, nose, and so on. Form, sound, smell, and so on. So these are called elements. Yeah, sometimes they're called elements and so forth. So it's all kind of all parts of our existence. So that's why the sutra continues in applying the same reasoning to everything. And then it continues with the 12 links of interdependent existence and the 4 noble truths.
lam ngala jarni toni de lam ngala jarni cheyo tan lam re kapso tini toni shipchara charchan rogora de soman tini ma tagi nga tun de chojo kapso ki toni la tatang jora ti shege yor tini ma le inde tini ganglam thong mololon se yora lam ngala jar re.
So in general, just to give you an idea, Rinpoche says there is also a way to explain the Heart Sutra and the understanding of emptiness based on the 5 paths to enlightenment, like the path of accumulation, path of application, path of seeing, path of meditation, and so forth. And what this explanation includes is kind of going deeper and deeper into more detailed levels of understanding of emptiness. So the way he is explaining now is in accordance with the most superficial level of understanding of emptiness, which is practiced on the first path, the path of accumulation.
단데네 마솔레 동반이 동반이 주지만 대견 소화된 대시든 대지는 나바시바는 동바바 샤리부터 초담be 동반이는 스님 마시고 망가바 좀마메 바좀마다 조아메 고메 샤리부터 다면 동반이는 좀에 조아메 대시 대신나면 나바시바 메메 나와메 나메 제메레메 좀에 담메 트미로미 리자메 추메도 미고 컴메바 니지 컴이 이진 나바시바 컴지 바다니 메 마리바메 세바메 바는 가시메 가지세베 바다 메 대견 동하와도 긴조와도 고바도 라미 예시메 토바메 마토바이 메 샤리부터 다면 장초 셈바는 토바메 비치를 셔러지 바로도 침발라 땡지 네데 셈나 주바메베 짜바메데 친지로리 신데는 양에는 데베 탈 지엔도 뒤숨도 넘버 조베 산지 탐지 짱 셔러지 바로도 침반데라 땡니 라나메바 용도 조비 짱저 넘버 조바 상제소 대답에는 셔러지 바로도 침뱅하 리바 침뱅하 라나메뱅하 문야보도 녀뱅하 동아탐데라도 제와 지뱅하 미제베는 덴바 시바제데 셔러지 바로도 침뱅하 메바 떼야 엄가den가데 파랑가데 파라 상가데 모데소 셔리베 전저선 바셈버제 모데다 셔러지 바로도 침바 사무라 라버 자오스 타티 렌다 맞죠? 근데 이게 네. 쪼그래.
That's long.
네.
So then the sutra continues in the same way. Feeling, conception, formations, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, therefore, all dharmas are emptiness. No characteristics, unborn, unceasing, no stains, no freedom from stains, no decrease and no increase. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no conception, no formations, no consciousness. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no dharmas. from no element of I to no element of mind, and up to no element of mind consciousness. There is no ignorance, no exhaustion of ignorance, up to no aging and death, and also up to no exhaustion of aging and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no no prajna, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because the bodhisattvas have no attainment, they abide in reliance upon transcendent prajna. There is no obscuration of mind, there is no fear. As there is no obscuration of mind, there is no fear. They completely transcend the mistaken and reach ultimate nirvana. All the Buddhas dwelling in the 3 times, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment by relying on this profound transcendent prajna. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent prajna, the mantra of deep awareness, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that completely pacifies all suffering should be known as the truth. For there is no deception. The mantra of transcendent prajna is proclaimed, Teyatha om gate gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should train in profound transcendent prajna. So until here is Avalokiteshvara's answer to Shariputra's question.
네. 다디 어디 하시도 봐라. 나되게다. 나되게 표현돼 강한도 대답에는 셰럽지 바로도 지면 나 셰럽지 바로도 지면 나라기도 어디 네.
So it says here, therefore the mantra of transcendent prajna is the translation of prajna paramita. So this way the mantra of prajna paramita is Teyatha om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha.
어디 다디인데 가서 네게 하시도 봐 만들어서 그러 봐. 만들어서 셰럽지 바로도 지면 나살라도 네게 가르쳐고는 셰럽지 바로 친구 네가 딱 가서 그 추구당 도설 고고 그러 봐. 셰럽지 바로 친구는 추구 추구 다마카야 말해. 다마카야 그러 봐. 제 다마카야라 오네기 mantra chura te damakaya la kogora ne ki mantra se to damakaya kogora ina indela di sheraji paru de chime ha dela di mantra te ar omga dela karasana di ki ju chege be insa di jegen di reu gi ming jula ta pa inse.
So this mantra, Teyatha om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha, is known as the mantra of prajna paramita. And prajna paramita, actually, it's talking about the ultimate attainment of the Dharmakaya. But in a way, we call this mantra of prajna paramita, it's kind of naming, giving the name of the result to the cause. So it is not the attainment of prajna paramita, but by practicing this, we can attain the prajna paramita. That's why it is already called the prajna paramita mantra. So it is a way of saying, it's kind of naming the cause after the result. This,
yeah. 네 님바 리파치면 하라기도 리파치면 하라데 가서 네 말이 빠뽕아 제바다 리파치 제비차네 아니 리파치면 하세.
And then it says Rikpachimpa nga, the mantra of deep awareness or great awareness. So what does this mean? It means that the great awareness is the opposite of ignorance. So it is a mantra that eliminates ignorance.
Tene lana meme nga sejdwa lana meba sedigta chik kharso gondiki ha degi chik chu shendam mandawa ta tengo to te neba chayo reti.
And then it says the unsurpassed mantra, which means that it points out that it is a very special, a very extraordinary mantra.
Tene sumbatala minyamba da nyabe nga slabdo minyamba se zukuche nyamba se te chukuche tenigi ha de tenigi juchige benza tene minyamba nyabe nga.
Okay, this I don't know if I can explain. So the next one is the mantra equal to the unequaled.
Tapati madina rigire minyamba se zuku
Zukula dobila. Minyamba la. Okay.
ta kandaja zuku da chuku nigi juchige yores labores.
Yeah, so what it's saying is that kind of the Rupakaya, kind of the form, the manifestation of the form of a Buddha is the cause of the result of the Dharmakaya. So this is what this line is showing. the
Tiki-
mantra equal to the unequaled.
네. 되게 다 도도데 랑뎀 제비게 돼. 랑니기 되는 제비요.
And what is talking here is through practicing this, one attains the final result, which is beneficial to oneself. So kind of one attains realization.
되네 되게 동화듬제라도 쇼와집에 마테다 신든 라테 더가랑데 하고라.
And then the next part says the mantra that completely pacifies all suffering. So then this further expands from our own benefit also to benefiting others, to pacifying all suffering of all beings.
되네 메제페나 뎀바 셰바 자디세지도와 디 가레라 보르스나 당도 디나나다 로아 미에세고 도도 로바 로아 미에세고 그래.
So then it says, should be known as truth, for there is no deception. So what it's saying here, that this mantra is kind of, it does not deceive, it is true. What it says here, the result that it says one will attain by practicing it, will be attained for sure.
다디나 줌면다고 세고 다도.
Yeah, that's why it says there is no deception.
그래. 당아서 치나바 좀 하고 그래서는 거서 거서 덴식 세지도 덴비식 라이지요다. 베나 말라리바 나 덴식 주변 남겨봐 임비 니 저랑 저랑 마음 야포지 잡고 세도 세도 하래. 티 가르라고 손다.
So there is an expression in Buddhism which is kind of, it's known as true words or words of truth. So Milarepa used to say, I am a yogi who with the power of true words. So that's why I will make aspiration for all of you. So it is, yeah.
나 덴식 주변 남겨봐 인라다. 덴식 주변 남겨봐 인. 가르세 버리세나. 나기 제와니 제와 새로 몽보지라. 되니 진세디 요만 용스 세고 다도도 돼. 이 제와니 체니 지고 많이 제와니 제와 몽보지는 이 진시에만 용세고 도도 돼.
So what it's saying here, what Milarepa is saying by saying I am a yogi with the power of the true words of truth, he is saying that not only in this life but in all lifetimes before, he has never told a lie.
근데 인자 나기 측다 덴식 차버려서.
So then his words have the power of truth, kind of. It means like the words of truth. It means that whatever you say will happen, something like this. It's called the power of truth. Whatever you say, that will happen exactly as you say.
네. 띵이 저랑 저랑 뭐는 야버지긴 송다. 이게 친구라한테 가르쳐서 다들 덴데기 덴지 드버 덴데기 덴지기 돈에 나가면 빼나 마음진들이 잡아이나 마음데 디 덴지디 똑 다가는 게 마음데 준비돼서
So that's why Milarepa is saying that now he will make an aspiration for all of his disciples, and because he has this power of true words, all the aspiration that he makes will come true. So that's why he especially makes a point of making aspiration for all his disciples, praying that everything that he says will become true for them.
공가디나 나 마음 얘기 기고서 나 덴지 주변 남겨봐 임비 점선 때라 때니 인잖아서 마음 얘기.
He doesn't say I will just make aspirations or prayers. He says because I have the power of the truth, I will make aspirations for you.
어디래? 디 손다데 데 엄가된 거는 빠라는데 빠른데 하이 맞지? 다지랑기 다들이 뒤집니다. 네 코랑나 빼지 다 니버지 요다 도도.
Yes, so
도도 데.
So now comes this the mantra. There is a lot to say about this, but to keep it short, this mantra is extremely powerful.
그래. 데는데 샤리부 좀 다데 딩하지 샤리부 좀 좀 셈버지 보대도 샤리지 바로도 짐바서 말라버져 송사와 다다기 가장 무시요와 당 무시 차와래.
So then the next sentence, Shariputra, this is how Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in profound prajna paramita. So this concludes the main part of the sutra, the main body of the sutra.
그래. 되네 다 숨바된 죽돼.
And then we come to the third part, which is the conclusion.
되네 죽들라 니요라 산지기 예스 나와당 되네 콜로마 담제기 유령 제바스.
So the conclusion has two parts. One is the Buddha's confirmation of what was said, and the second one is the students rejoicing in that.
대양 되네 되네 대양 되네 점점데 가상 냠발을 주고요. 되네 냠샤리야 신이 되네 가리송래 되네 점점데 띵이 되려신데 장조 semba 좀 봐봐 찌르서 온줄라 레이소 시작을 레이소 리지부 대대신데 지다 추추 땜바신데 셔러죠 바로도 짐벌 사모라 찌버 샤디 대신 시반남도 제수 요롱 다대송 말.
So, as you remember, at the beginning of the sutra, the Buddha kind of entered in the samadhi, in the state of meditation. So then it says, at that moment, the Buddha arose from that samadhi and spoke to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, noble Lord Avalokiteshvara. Excellent, he said, excellent, excellent. Son of noble family, it is so, it is just so. Profound transcendent prajna should be practiced just as you have taught, and all the Tathagatas will rejoice. So that is what the Buddha said after awakening from the meditation.
다 간다죠. 다 디캅스 다 디캅스 여비기 저랑 소이나 한다. 마음부터 두자 소이난다. 다기 찌렌스 숨바 나신기 냠스 랜다. 틴텔라 노와 트바 메스 다 도도 데.
So what the Buddha actually said, the essential meaning of that is that all the disciples present at that time and all the future disciples should practice exactly in the way that Avalokiteshvara explained. He kind of confirmed that Avalokiteshvara's explanation is correct, so everyone should practice accordingly.
텔라 데니 하트 지고 마셔와지 하트 수트라 잡았다.
That's how it became the Heart Sutra, not just the heart, but the Heart Sutra.
잡아라. 다디 다 님바데 로마난기 여러 잡아라. 데니 다 점데 대송발라 데니 샤리포단 다 제렌제단 다 텔라 요비기 다 텔라 무스 요비기 다 콜로마 같이 요바이난다 칸 상마게 빼면시기다. 빼다 점데 대송발라 데니 코란산이 빼 가와지 찌보지 땅오네 빼야포 종송스다. 다디 데니 좀 그래.
And then the next part is it describes that everyone who was present there, after hearing the sutra and the Buddha's information, then everyone rejoiced from their heart.
다디갑소 다 코로나마 셴바도 임바제바 되네 샤리불라야다 나게 드바티야데 오늘 야포 총송 소소소로 뽑아지 찌부중 제렌제나 나 오늘 레야포 테선 수도 가와지 지요라 뽑아주 근데 좀라
So of course everybody present rejoiced, but especially when we talk about Shariputra, he felt that he felt the confidence that it was good that he asked the question and received the answer, and then Avalokiteshvara felt kind of rejoiced in giving the answer and in his answer being confirmed as correct. So especially Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara rejoiced in them contributing to this teaching, and then everyone else present rejoiced in hearing it.
근데 이제 딱 나랑도 지단계 깨셔베는 가서 세비기 개긴지나 세비기 로툴라 심축자예요 말에 심축 빠르고레스 다티다 todo.
So what it's saying here is that a loving teacher, the teacher should have love for the disciples. So the teacher should always kind of encourage the disciples.
네. 이제 딘디라 탐지도 딘데 코데다 될런데 시대잖아. 개침보도.
And then there is another so then there is just one word here that is also important. It says tamchedan dembe korodetatan. So actually, again here the translation, English translation is not 100%, but it says all those in the gathering.
네. 되게 맞소데 다른 나다기 콩도 다른 나다제 개로 침벌어 봐. 콩 가르 송도잖아. 다 탐제당 덴바스 되고서 다시 갑자기 큐라다 두자요라 딘나나더니 머리 만다와 되는 롱제 만다와 끼리 만다와 도 만다와 다음에다 탐지당 다음에 찔거 요새 되다. 어디?
So there is a commentary on the Heart Sutra by the great master Taranatha, and what he said that this word saying all those in the gathering, it's actually saying that this teaching was addressed to everyone present, but it's not just saying everyone in general. It is saying that people of all races, people of all kinds of wealth, poor and rich, people of all kinds of languages, people of all kinds of color, race, everything. So it is saying that everyone present there is treated equally.
디 남비기 체쇼스는 간다죠. 대냐 다 뜸바쯤된 되게 째와지 되는 거다. 네.
So this shows one special characteristic of Buddhism in general, but it also shows the Buddha's compassion for all disciples, no matter who they are and how they look like.
나랑 저 뜸바기 째와 되라. 가게에는 되네. 나랑 정말 뒤는지 제보다.
So if we feel inspired by the Buddha's love for everyone equally, then we should also practice the same way.
다다 되는지. 저 공기 식당지도. 네.
Kind of the way he saw everyone as equally worthy, then we should also see everyone like that.
라소 되네. 다 뒤서에 들어가 중선을 봐. 봐. 되네 간데 제기. 니고 잘라 대신 되는 거 봐. 왕대랑 살때 잘는데. 네.
So time is
Yeah.
time is almost up.
Yeah.
So Rinpoche is asking, should we recite the Heart Sutra now or in the afternoon? But he says probably in the afternoon, okay?
Yeah.
We can do it after the empowerment,
Yeah.
so we can slowly conclude
네.
now.